Hello students, welcome back to GIS score and I am your faculty Praveen Kumar. So today again we come back with the syllabus explanation, that is for the GS paper 1 and geography section. So in previous section we have discussed about the physical geography, how this physical geography covers a large area there in the GS paper 1, particularly the mains. And in the previous section, we have discussed about the geomorphology, climate, oceanography, environment section. That includes the topic 1 and 3 part and topic 4 part of the GS paper 1 syllabus. So next, as we promised that we will continue our session with the separate discussion of the economic geography. So today's section are focused over the topic 2, that is the economic geography of India and the world, right? So let us start the discussion. So topic 2 deals with the syllabus, that is distribution of key natural resource across the world, South Asia and Indian subcontinent, right? So there is a big unending or endless topic is this. This is key natural resources, right? So this whole topic, as we divided this part, this is economic geography, it is economic geography, and I divide this topic 2 of syllabus mains GS1 again into two parts, section A and section B. Section A deals with the resources and section 2 deals with economic activities. Right? So we can include in that their agriculture, industries, service sector, right? So these economic activities has been included in the topic B of topic 2, right? So let us discuss these two topics separately we will take on, right? So now here topic A, that is resources. So you must understand the meaning of resource. Resource means it is a utilization of any substance. Utilization of any substance, that is a resource. Okay. So but here in the syllabus it is given key natural. Now what are the key natural resources, or what does it mean the key natural resources? That is the resources which has great significance in economic activities and natural environment, right? Has significance in the economic activities and also has a contribution in the natural environment. So I have listed this few key resources or key natural resources, that is number 1. I have divided into two parts. One is conventional resource, conventional resource or conventional resources. So we have been studying this aspect in our common syllabus also. Number 2 part, it is non-conventional resource. Non-conventional resources. So these two aspects or these two part of the resources are very important in the economic activities of the natural environment. Conventional resources include petroleum, natural gas, and coal. So these are three conventional resources, right? And these are very much important for, or they have the great significance in the economic activities or functioning or operation, right? So therefore, they are the key. I can also define them that a key energy resource. Key energy resources, right? So that these key energy resources, they have been always there in news in terms of their conservation, availability, limitation, or shortage, right? They have been always there in the news due to the environmental concern like global warming, like climate change. So these issues have been included in this, or these issues are confined to the conventional resources or energy resources, right? If these resources have been exhausted from the surface of the earth, so their all the economic activities will collapse, right? For example, if petroleum is finished, then there will be no mobility of the transportation or vehicle. So the movement of all the transportation will be collapsed immediately. So their trade will be collapsed. So their export import will be collapsed. So in such a case, this petroleum is important, and still the coal has been used as a primary source of energy, production of electricity. Natural gas is also one of the prime source of the energy in a different part of the world. So it is a key natural resource. So we have to focus on their conservation, we have to focus on their limitation or the storage, and also at the same time we have to focus on their environmental concern or the environmental problem which has been emerging there on the different part of the world or because of these energy resources, right? So in the 21st century we have become more concerned about the environmental concern or environmental protection, environment conservation. So in such a case, we have to keep focus on this area, right? So in such a case, we have to switch over, or we are bound to switch over on the non-conventional resource, right? On the non-conventional resource. Now, what are the key non-conventional resource? So, non-conventional resource, non-conventional resources are which have been new in the utilization new in utilization, right? So it includes it includes renewable resources, right? But what are the key? These are, this is most important is water. Another is which we can use it and which have the abundance and we can excessively exploit, right? Or harness the resource, that is solar energy, wind energy, tidal energy. Then after, nuclear energy, right? All these are the key natural resource, that is non-conventional aspects. So today the world is always crying, always focusing there on the water in the era of global warming. So their crisis of water is become a major issue as similar to global warming and climate change. So this water has become a very key center of attention in terms of limited or reducing availability, or we can say sources, right? So that we have to conserve or we have to protect by conservation of the water. Solar energy is a natural source of energy. So India is one of the leading country in the world which is excessively working on harnessing the solar energy. We will discuss the question. It has been asked there in the exams also. Potential of solar energy is very high in India. Why? You have to go for the geography concept, basic geography concept, that is India lies in tropical region where there is a 9 to 10 months of the year, so there is abundant sunlight or there is high sun. 10 months there is high sun. So we can harness this energy in terms of their or in terms of or for our own use, right? Or the productive use we can get it from the solar energy. It is a very key resource has become in terms of the production of energy or the utilization of the energy. Wind energy and tidal energy, this is highly localized. So they are in homogeneous areas. Homogeneous areas. There is the huge potential of the wind energy. So that we call it there in the deserts. The wind, heavy wind blows in the desert. We can harness that energy for producing or for its productive use, right? Then after, coastal region. So wind always blowing from the sea and from sea to land and land to sea. You must be knowing about the land breeze, sea breeze concept. So that the coastal region has huge potential of wind energy. So India also, the some part of the India also, they have the prevalence of monsoon for the 9 months. There is 9 months monsoon period. So their monsoon or during the monsoon, wind comes from the oceans, from the seas, and their volume of the winds is very high, so that we can harness that wind in terms of production of energy. We have a altitude, we have the plateaus, there we can install their wind fans. We have narrow passages, there in the southern India or the Deccan Plateau, there we can install our wind fans for producing the wind energy. So this is wind energy is very, very important. Even in India, there is Palghat Gap. Palghat Gap, you must be knowing this. Palghat Gap is there in a Western Ghat at the border of Kerala and Tamil Nadu. So there in Palghat Gap, India's largest wind energy plant has been established. Similarly, there in the Gujarat, India's largest solar energy plant has been established. So we are focusing on their significance of non-conventional resources, as we have to protect our environment, as we have to focus on the conservation of the environment. So we ultimately have to switch over on these sources of energy, right? Then after, nuclear energy, tidal energy. So tidal energy definitely has scope there in the coastal areas. So where in the coastal areas, particularly there in the west coast, there are narrow estuaries, there are narrow creeks. So creeks and estuaries. So creeks and estuaries are very much ideal location for harnessing tidal energy, right? So during the high tide, water level rises up. So in this narrow channel like this is estuaries or the creeks. Because of this high tide, their water level rises up. So we can install our turbines here, that we can produce energy from these creeks. I hope this is clear to you, right? So tidal energy is very, very important, and India also has a advantage of that intended coastline. Where? In the west coast of India. So this west coast of India is an example of intended coastline. So there is a narrow creeks and the estuaries. So that is ideal location for installing turbines for generating the tidal energy. Then after, nuclear energy. Nuclear energy. So this energy is completely a technology based. It is technology based, so that we have been continuously growing in the technological development. So we have the scope of the growth of the nuclear energy also. So we have the huge reserve of thorium, at the coast of Kerala or Malabar coast, right? So this can be used for producing the energy. So in such a case, there India has huge potential of the harnessing nuclear energy. I hope this is clear. So, let us see the questions what has been asked on the basis of these current sources of energy or the non-conventional sources of energy. Yes, the question has been asked there in the year of 2022. This is most latest question. Examine the potential of wind energy. See, wind energy in India, potential. So, what you have to discuss here, the potential of wind energy there in the coastal region, right? Coastal region, and that particularly the advantage is with the Kerala and Tamil Nadu, Andaman and Nicobar Islands, right? Why Kerala and Tamil Nadu specifically? Because Kerala and Tamil Nadu, if you see, they are in the if I explain this in a way, like for this is the coast of Kerala and Tamil Nadu. So, over these points, so they are advancing monsoon winds. So, there here we can install here the wind fans. Then after over here also this is advancing monsoon winds as well as returning monsoon winds or the northeast monsoon winds. So, these areas have the potential of wind energy throughout the year. So, for whole year, almost 12 months, this is northeast wind, this is southwest wind. So, throughout the year we have potential of the wind energy. What is the question? The question is, here the question is potential of wind energy in India, right? Explain the reasons and their limited spatial spread. So, wind energy, there we can install there in the coastal areas very adequately and very much extensively, but there we have limitation with the deserts. We have limited scope of the expansion of the wind energy in the desert areas. So, there is, because there is a dust blow. So, dust blows with the wind. So, in such a case, the fans of wind energy will have the damages. So, there when the wind blows, there this also lifts sand or it also carries sand. So, which is responsible for, or it will be responsible for friction of the sand along with the wind fans. So, there that will be a reason for damages of the wind fan. So, there we cannot go for the establishment of wind energy in the desert areas. Then after, so this is the question there in the 2022, right? 10 marks question is there. They are 150 words. So, you can make the diagram and also locate there on the coastal areas, right? Then after, multi-dimensional implication of uneven distribution of mineral oil in the world. Multi-dimensional implication, uneven distribution of mineral oil. So, there you should know what is it talking about. This is petroleum. It is asking on the petroleum. So, in the case of petroleum, their implication. So, there is a diversity, there is a monopoly, OPEC countries, they have monopoly in terms of deciding the price. They have the monopoly in terms of producing amount of the crude oil, then only they will be distributing. So, that is a multi-dimensional implication of the uneven distribution, right? So, that India has immense potential of solar energy. Again, see, this the question is 2020, right? immense potential of solar energy. True, there are regional variation in its development, even though there are the regional variation in this development. How is it? Now see, this is India is a tropical country. So I'll explain it. India is a tropical country. The Tropic of Cancer. Tropic of Cancer divides India into two equal parts. North. So this is half part. There is the south of Tropic of Cancer and the half is in the north of Tropic of Cancer. This region is subtropical region. It is tropical region, right? So the tropical region has the adequate sunlight throughout the year. There is abundant sunlight throughout the year, but subtropical areas has seasonal variation. Seasonal variation means, so winter seasons, their amount of insolation reduces. During the winter season, amount of insolation reduces, so that there is a relatively a seasonal scope. So their summer season is more favorable for producing solar energy or using the solar energy, right? So this, even though India has a huge potential, but even there are the certain limitations, right? So the question is, here is question, that is, India has immense potential of solar energy, though there are regional variation in its development. So this development will always vary on the basis of the scope. So the scope is more in tropical region and seasonal in subtropical region. So you have to study, or you have to write the answer in the 250 words, right? So you will easily, you can write it there with the diagrams, and also you can show their thermal zones of the country, right? Then after, next question is, examine the status of forest resource of India and its resultant impact on the climate change. So this is forest, we have already discussed there in the geography of India, that the forests are very important in terms of maintaining the biodiversity and the environment. But here this is asking the question, these resources are as a, or these forests are as a resource and its resultant impact on the climate change, right? So we have to discuss the present, the scenario of the forest cover in India. So this you can write on the basis of forest survey report of latest year. So today's latest year of the forest survey report is 2023. It has been 2021, sorry, it has been released, right? So it has been released every 2 years. This is 2021, right? Again, you have to write there in this question in 2020, 250 words. Next is, what is water stress? See this again. Water stress. How and why does it differ from the regionally in India? How and why does it differ? So this is, water stress means the availability of water than demand, right? Availability of water than demand. So you will have to give here the what the causes of the stress. Causes of stress. Causes of stress means there will be, this will be on the basis of population size. Right, on the basis of population size, on the basis of sources, right, whether the source of the water is available or not, right. If source is available, their stress will be least. If source is not available, then stress will be very high. For example, this is, you can write the case of Delhi. So this type of the question, this requires the case studies. It requires case study. So you can write the case study of Delhi. Delhi population is high, and this Delhi does not have its own source of the water. So it has to depend on the other states. Source is depending on the neighboring states. So their stress is more. Per capita availability of the water is less because of size of population. Right? How and why does it differ regionally in India? So this you can go for the on the basis of causes for this regional water problem, water stress in the country. So there in the you can this will vary accordingly. So if we go in the detailing of this answer, so you can explain the water stress on the basis of availability, right? Then after regional variation, on the basis of the causes. Why there is a regional variation, or why there is regional variation. The first is population size. Another is sources, right? So there I have given you the example of the case of Delhi, right? Then after topography. So there this you can take the case of the southern India, or more specifically you can go for the Deccan Plateau. So Deccan Plateau has the two reasons. One is the hard rock or impermeable rock. Impermeable rocks do not allow the water to percolate into the subsurface. So the groundwater table is low. So the water has been restored there in the reservoirs only. Then after there is a seasonality of rainfall, right? Then after there amount of rainfall, right? So amount of rainfall is high in the areas their water is adequate, and if the amount of rainfall is low, in case of low is a case of Rajasthan. In case of Rajasthan, so there is low availability. There is low availability of water. In case of West Bengal, there is a high availability of the water. Right. More we go towards east of India, Assam, and there is water availability is high. More we go to the west of India, so there is availability will be less. More we go towards north, availability will be good. More we go towards south, the availability will be less. Means level of stress will increase on the basis of amount of rainfall. So the more of the rainfall will have the more the availability of the water, and the stress will be less, right? So in this way you can go for writing the answer, and also you can draw their map. Okay. Next. So these are the question based on the resources. So resources part is a very important, right? So next part of the discussion of the economic section we come on. So this section is, I purely divide this on the economic activity. economic activities. So this economic activities include agriculture, industry, and service sector, right? So agriculture we include there in the primary sector, industries we include in the secondary sector, and the service sector we include in the tertiary sector, right? So these are the three sectors which are included in that. Now here these three sectors are based on available resources except the service sector, right? So we can say this is two sectors are based on the purely on the available resources. This service sector also based on the resource, but their resource is not the traditional, not the natural resource, that is tangent resource. Tangent resource, right? So there, so let us see this questions on the basis of this aspect. Yes, questions are: describe the distribution of rubber producing countries, indicate the major environmental issues faced by them. Rubber producing industries. So this is the primary sector. Agriculture. So the rubber producing industries are the countries, those who are located in the equatorial zone. Equatorial zone, right? So this is rubber producing industries. So you have to talk on the Malaysia, you have to talk on Indonesia, you have to talk on the India also, that particularly there in the Kerala and Tamil Nadu. Environmental issues. So what are the problems there? There is a problem of the forest fire, there is a problem of the degradation of the forest cutting, right? Heavy precipitation, soil erosion, like these environmental problems have been observed there. The second question is: account the present location of iron steel industries away from sources of raw material. Give example, right? Iron and steel industries. So there you have to write there the specifically the case of India, that you can write there Visakhapatnam steel plant. Visakhapatnam steel plant in the Andhra Pradesh. So this Visakhapatnam steel plant is based on imported iron ore from Australia. So we are importing the superior variety of iron ore from Australia and we are producing steel, then we are exporting to the different countries, right? So this is iron and steel industries away from their source of raw material, right? Visakhapatnam steel plant is the best answer of this. Then after, can the strategy of regional resources based manufacturing help in the promoting the employment in India? Strategy of regional resource based manufacturing means it is on the basis of the growth of the industries on the basis of the available resources. So you have to go for the location of different resources, right? Then after, discuss the factors of localized agro-based processing, food processing industries in the northwest India. Agro-based food processing industries in the northwest India. So there it is talking about the Punjab, Haryana, Western Uttar Pradesh, right? So this is again, so what the industries are there on the basis of the agriculture product produce, right. So, this is you have to discuss on that. Again, the agriculture primary sector. How can the mountain ecosystem restored from the negative impact of development of initiative and the tourism? So, this is I have taken this in this section because this tourism is a service sector, and it also can be included there in the part of the environment. So, this is the overlapping part. So, I have taken it as this initially tourism is a service sector, right. So, but this is how mountain ecosystem be restored from the negative impact. So, what is there in the of a development initiative and the tourism. So, this we will go for the sustainable tourism and ecotourism. Ecotourism, right. So, this way the different questions have been asked in the different sections. So, this area is very important. So, as from the 2022, 2020, 2019, 2019 and 2019 means each question, at least one question is always visible in the question paper every year. So, this 4 sections in the geography are there. So, there are 4 sections in the geography or 4 topics in the geography. In these 4 topics, you will find at least the 90 marks questions, right. Each question from the each section is always there. One is for 10 marks, one is for 15 marks, one is for 10 marks, one is for 15 marks, one is for 10 marks, one is for 15 marks, one is for 10 marks, one is for the 15 marks, right. So, this is about 90 to 100 marks question will be there, and 90 to 100 marks question in the GS paper 1 out of 250, it is a good portion of the syllabus which is covering up. So, you can completely rely on it, or you cannot afford to skip this section, geography section for the base. You must have to study, right. So, I hope this session has been extremely fruitful for you, and you must have got all the ideas how to handle the syllabus and how to prepare for the mains examination, and accordingly how to write the answers and handle the questions. So, students, I have a good news for you that we have made a detailed listing of the topics for our general studies discussion. So, that is a micro listing we call it. So, if you want to get that syllabus listing of India and world both for GS paper 1, so you can scan this barcode and you can download the complete syllabus. So, that will be extremely helpful for your preparation. Thank you.